very sophisticated. The chemistry, artificial chemistry, synthetic chemistry of glucosides is extremely difficult. Any chemist are able to produce products like this, which are doing insects and bees and in the glands of human milk. So I would just give this point. A part of this compound you find in honey. And
You find anti-tumor activity, but especially need to anti-cancer compounds.
Sugar chemistry, trace of sugar chemistry is the most complicated. Protein, okay, steroids, okay, trace elements, okay, you can see all the, but the immunosaccharides, you cannot take them. Okay, so we have not the last conferences. Perhaps we have a possibility interesting subjects in the next time. It's not impossible that people has problems to answer with interminable queue. We have to see, and if we find a possibility to give you back these conferences, which we cannot have today or now, we are giving indication in the exposition in the entrance hall. So shortly, quite shortly. So thank you.
I don't know who would answer my question. How stable are these immunosaccharides? Are they stable for a long time? Do you know it?
The immunosaccharides exist, are stabilized by other compounds in the mixture. They are not isolated. The immunosaccharide honey is a very good vector, stabilized vector for all other compounds. Also for the whole native mixture like royal jelly, you can stabilize. Large extraction, which is the future of apitherapy, the products aging in the metamorphosis. The larvae are one of the most sensitive substances. Some hours later is finished. This, but honey is able to stabilize all the other bee products, including the immunosaccharides. But when honey becomes elder, I think the enzyme went down. You have THF, but it's not toxic, no problem. I think the if the honey is not diluted and you have not exposition to temperature higher than 30 degrees or intensive light, I think the immunosaccharides are working long time in honey. You are only from Egyptian pyramids, 2,000 years. They are also consumable, not by the Brussels European education fool, but honey is in general conserving almost all properties very, very long time. If you find valuable to 2014 or 14, it is not, is valuable for 4014 also. So, if we have no substantial thing, I thank you for this interesting moment together. Short.
There is a camera.
Apart from my
information. All microorganism samples, or most of them, is gram-positive, yes?
Yes, gram-positive.
Generally, it's working with product against gram-positive, but gram-negative, they are also working not in every time, sometimes specific. You have strains which are not responding, and other one will die immediately.
But
This is a question of terrain and not of honey.
but Streptococcus mutans and Listeria monocytosis is causes mostly in food gastric system problems, you know, and there are others, vascular Streptococcus and epidemics causes mostly European antibiotic. And Candida, and urinary systems and medical drugs. So we choose them especially for gram-positive, and
Yes, honey is good as toothpaste.
toothpaste and gastric systems and food programs, honey programs. We want to solve honey eating and problems. This system, gram-positive,
When you diluted honey in 75%, are you
25
measuring
and 50?
measuring H2O2 peroxide hydrogen activity? And your
25 and 50%
we have some peroxide activity.
water is more and activity is lower.
Oxygenate
Oxygen, yes.
Honey is hygroscopic, and the balance become heavier and heavier. But generally, with less than 20%, you have no problem. Honey is a subject without end, but we are done. I wish you further a successful Congress, and we see us, I think, tomorrow in the apitherapy. Okay?
today.
No.
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Decidiamo?
You have to speak? Excuse me, one of the referees did not arrive here. He has to speak, so we have also the conference from him. Okay. Began immediately. If not, people is going on.
Hello everybody, my name is Hussein Ibarra. Originally I'm Iranian, but I'm a commercial beekeeper in Canada with more than 6,000 hives in Canada and more than 2,000 hives in Iran. Basically, the company basically I'm working in is my own company, Cascan Apiaries. We are in the last 3 generations of the beekeeping, over 150 years experience, and then also over 50 wide product of honeybees. Most of our activity basically is related to biological disease control on honeybees, also on commercial venom collections, queen artificial insemination, also commercial honeybees related to the pollination and honey production. Let's go quickly here. In the last few years, we've been working with many parts of honeybees, especially N chromosome royalty, which is a claim. I'm going to explain it, a different kind of royalty to compare to the 32 chromosome royalty that has been produced in the hive. It's a graft from 16 chromosome larva. Has many effects on many human pathogens. But to start with, it was for African fogboard disease controls. But last few years, when we were giving to the clients, we came across hormone issue in humans, especially estrogen dominancy in humans, ladies, and also low progesterone and testosterone levels on man. It is a main product to increase libido, maybe not efficient as what we can get the result from royalty, especially in chromosome royalty. Here we have some results from ladies. She has high testosterone, which is a problem to have a high level of testosterone in ladies. And usually when there's a high level of testosterone, they are very low on progesterone, which has a factor on their gaining weight, moodiness, and also last interest on sexual performance and sexual abilities. And then also, because of that, the doctor was testing to the family friend. I trusted to test some of the beekeeper who was using A chromosome royalty because we had the result when they consumed these products. They had the improvement on their increasing the libido and also the basically their moodiness, less weight, more energy, lots of results we had. But we've been using this product to start with mostly for H. pylori, stomach ulcer cure, which is my other presentation on the conference. Then the people with the stomach ulcer, they was reporting for their increasing libido, improving on hormones, losing weight when they had extra weight, gaining weight or a problem with the gaining weight. Then that brought us to the issue of the hormones trouble. I asked the doctor, he was a good friend of mine, so how about I bring some beekeepers, they're consuming N chromosome royalty to test their hormone. This hormone is actually with the Cereal test, which is 95% accurate to compare to testing the hormone with the blood. Now, the test here I have, my testosterone level, it shows 131 based on being 95% accurate. On 3,800 sample, over 3,800 sample, the maximum level of the testosterone we could get in USA was 92. An average testosterone level in male is 60 to 70. And that was a kind of shocking news for a doctor. Then we start to bring few clients that have been using the N chromosome royalty in the consumptions. We had an average more than 100, or a level of 120 on the testosterone. And he told me this can be a kind of revolutionary paradox on hormone therapy because over 70% of the ladies worldwide, they have imbalanced hormones. And that's one of the biggest issues. Then slowly we got in relation between the hormones and the different group of pathogen or disease or group of diabetics people are dealing with. That's basically become an interesting subject for us to work on, and it still is an ongoing project. We're working on it to get much more accurate information and use to work on it. Now, before we use this N chromosome in hormone therapy, one of the group which is on the result of this presentation, I will explain that we came across from this presentation, basically this work, this research. It was a group of diabetics. We was finding one of the problems with diabetics when they're pancreas, they don't produce insulin, they have an issue of the sexual abilities, and regardless of other infection issue and other problems. In Iran, actually, we prevent amputation with partners using the magnet in conjunction with N chromosome royalty to prevent infections and also many pathogens in human bodies, especially when it comes to the diabetes, that is such a short time to prevent the prime infections, amputations. This picture you're going to see a little bit gross, but there's at least is a saving the people we use maggot to prevent. We'll see this. These pictures we use the maggot instead of having amputation of feet, but the consumer, the people who use the maggot, they consume N chromosome relatively, but this is the result after 2.5 months instead of having amputation. Most group they get results less than 2-3 weeks, but this infection was a little bit higher than normal level. Now, N chromosome relatively productions. Most of my professions is about the productions. I work with many doctors in different fields. I cannot be professional on that different subject, but with regard to my profession, I can explain how this production commercially works, how it can be scalable to produce this product. Worker jelly, basically production is, we know we're producing two different kinds of jellies, worker jelly and royal jelly, which is worker jelly comes from hypopharyngeal gland and mandibular gland for the royal jelly. But when we grafting the larva, instead of using the 32, we're using 16 chromosome larva for grafting. It depends on we have the graft in worker cells or in basic. I have to put this video for this or it's not on the non-function. Okay, I think video doesn't display here. No, okay. The video doesn't play. Okay, we have a problem with display video here. Okay, that video was showing how the basically production of the N chromosome largely works in big populations. But in every, back to the same page here. Royal jelly production totally depends on the level of the pollen consumption. Basically, if colony are in protein or nutrients deficiency, no way we can produce a large amount of the royal jelly. I have that video, I think it doesn't display here, but to consume royal jelly, basically for bees to produce royal jelly, we have to have enough larval pheromone for the bees to consume the pollen in order to produce the royal jelly. But most method of royal jelly production is happening in queenless hives, and the queenless hives, because they don't have pheromone from larvae, they have no reason to consume pollen. When no pollen consumption happening, in a way, royal jelly production doesn't happen. But in this new method, we have the colonies we have been feeding the special products called Caspin solution we developed. It contains pheromones, and that pheromones force the bees to consume large amount of pollen. When they consume large amount of pollen, because of the presence of the pheromones, what happens, the amount of royal jelly is produced, it cannot be defecated. The amount of worker jelly produced cannot be defecated. They feed large amount of the worker jelly to the larvae. But the active ingredients in a N chromosome royal jelly and the royal jelly is different. The fatty acid in royal jelly is the main active ingredients of the royal jelly, and as an infectant, as a supplementary, and as an anti-infectional, and also a hormone. Here we have a lab result of the royal jelly we produce in Iran, and also some in USA and Canada. But what we have here, the fatty acid on the royal jelly, an N chromosome royal jelly, is 10 times greater than normal royal jelly. It's a way more. And the taste and flavor of consuming the N chromosome royal jelly is not hard as the royal jelly we consume. It's not acidic, it's not, it's basically almost no taste, it's sort of a water. Now, we're back to, most of our works on hormone, it was based on 5 main hormones. It was 3 estrogens and progesterone and testosterone level. We've been working with the client. And then, yeah, these are the main 4 hormones we've been working on it. Lots of information regarding the we can search on internet or basically it's related to the profession of the hormones. Is not my profession to talk about it. But the main reason we working on a client because we see the big difference on beekeepers using the byproduct of honeybees, and then also the client be feeding them the product of honeybees, especially rosary and the deep pollen, and the different kind of products that we trying to work on. But trying to focus on being much more accurate on the results, we try to have the people using this N-chromosome rosary, which is we have a maximum result on balancing the hormone, especially and female, which is a large number of the groups, and also the diabetics group. They are the worst ones to have recovery on the hormones, the balancing the hormone for them. There's a little information about the effect of the rosary since 2003 from Japanese and other groups who have been working on it. Comparing those information regarding what we have with our own rosary and N-chromosome rosary to compare to other rosary. I have nothing against other rosary. I'm the producer of the largest, also almost largest producer of rosary in North America. Most of my rosary productions in Canada are happening during the summer, and also we produce over a few thousand kg from 6,000 hive, and this is I think after China recording all those numbers of the rosary, we don't see much producer in North America. It's a larger scale, but when we came across in result from N-chromosome rosary, it became a last interest for us to work on rosary. It's just different type. We produce bee venom. We try to have the other products, especially as a larger scale of the production of the venom, which is in beekeeping technology is one of my presentations, but is we don't see much client interested to accept the paying from bee venom for their hormone therapies, but it's still we don't know. That's a future study for us to see if we can have some client by consuming bee venom after having the on-the-screen test to have. But regarding the testing with the Celadia for the hormone issue, one of the main issues we had was most customers, they are happy for the result. They can get 95% accurate compared to being 5% accurate with the blood test. And the issue we have, many countries, they don't have a system, but for the testing of the Celadia, only 20 or 30 countries, they have the method of testing for the hormones. Yeah, some information about the rosary as a only source of the proteins, amino acid proteins has the compounds for the effectiveness compounds to compare to other natural food or source of being factors on the hormone therapies. But most of our jelly production, here is this pictures which is related more to my professions. Level of the jelly we see in a larva, it cannot be normal. It looks like a royal jelly, cells like a queen cells we're producing in queen cells grafted larva. It's a loss of jelly for the larva and no larva on the cells. One interesting information I'd like to mention is when we have 16 chromosome larva, half a chromosome larva grafted to this queen cells, or if we have unfertilized eggs, or which is a virgin queen or non-mated queen laying unfertilized eggs, bees knows actually, they can sense that cannot become a queen. Also, when they feed the royal jelly, they cannot become queen after, they cannot go to pupa stage. But what happened, when we have if you have a virgin queen laying eggs and they're feeding so much pollen and the Caspar solutions to consume loss of pollen, when they feed such a high level of the jelly to the larva, then we can add the mated queen in a cage on top of the hive. What happens, it lasts in 2 hours, bees take 90% of the larva out automatically, meaning we don't have to use the tools to take the larva out. If you see on this picture, jelly with no larva. But the area to produce either has to be artificial, a very high reach on pollen source, or artificially we have to feed lots of pollen to that. As a result, what we're going to say with the 3 groups we've been working, on male groups, for guys or for men, basically. We had a very good improvement on increasing libido on testosterone on men, and we had also for ladies high level of the increasing on progesterone, which is very difficult to get that recovery with the pharmaceutical products or just by consuming many different kinds of medication, actually naturally has been used so far. But with the group of diabetics, we had the most difficulties. Most difficulty was a group of diabetics. Most of group of diabetics we work is a group 2 or group B, basically. They didn't born diabetics, but they had the improvement of the better energy and also finding infection and finding with much more pathogens. But it still is an ongoing project, and I'm trying to have much more information for future. For more testing regarding the effectiveness of N-chromosome with other B product, but certainly we have the number, which is the doctor we're working on it. We will have the spreadsheet of all those people we've been working before test and during test and after, during consumptions and after test. But so far, what we have is a great result from the number of the people they've been using the N-chromosome for their hormone issue, and then it is a large number of the society we're looking, especially ladies in North America. They're gaining weight because of their food diets, and also regarding basically their moodiness, and also many other issues which is related to imbalanced hormone. It can be very positively can be potential to work on that, and I would be happy if anyone needs information about the production of these products. It is information in the website. They can produce and they can test it in their area or other locations. Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you for your extremely interesting conference. This is in the center future problem of health and illness, cancer also, and as in the royal jelly, different kinds of royal jelly. You have, as he said, the estrogens, which are the hormones of sexuality and overcoming sentiments, and also the progesterone. Are the same in bee life than in human life. Estrogens are also not only promoting the sexual necessity, but also promoting tumors, a lot of tumors, the lipophilic tumors like breast cancer, cervical, are now so frequent that they are more frequent than the other kind of tumors. And the antagonist, the androgen, testosterone, but in the royal jelly, in the development, in the metamorphosis, you find also ectosteroids. Estrogen is female steroid, testosterone male, but and the balance, the hormone balance by normal cells and normal stem cells and